Good evening. My name is Josh. I'm a fire investigator with the fire department, and I'm also one of the fire suppression lieutenants. For this assignment, we're going to discuss a structure fire that happened at 614 May Street on June 22nd, 2022. So to set the backdrop, we had a reported structure fire that came in at 1:17 p.m. The initial crews to this address were at 614 May Street were Engine 1, Engine 6, Tower 2, Rescue 2, and Battalion 1. So arriving crews on scene, first arriving company officer noticed moderate smoke showing from the eaves. He quickly performed a 360 and noticed that smoke was showing from all sides. So fire attack made entry through the front door, where they encountered moderate to heavy smoke. They advanced the 1 3/4 tack line in and began to fight the fire. The next in arriving crew established water supply along with 2 in, 2 out, and then the next unit came in and started setting up for primary search. That operation was halted because the homeowners arrived on scene advising that no one was in the home. So crews on scene safely and effectively extinguished the fire, which was deemed in the living room. They went through the house, cleared the smoke, started ventilating, and started packing up equipment. Now, the fire department operates that any structure fire notification gets ran through the fire marshal's office, which then gets dispatched to the fire investigator, which is me, which I was on shift this afternoon on this day. So I received the call not long after the 911 call was received and initial units were dispatched. On the way to the call, the last arriving unit, the last unit on scene that was doing all of the overhaul. They were picking up their equipment. The officer on scene was doing their paperwork. Received a second 911 call for a working structure fire a few blocks away with confirmed entrapment. The last remaining unit on scene packed up all their equipment and proceeded to the second structure fire. When I arrived on scene, the scene was unsecure. Fire department had just left, PD had just left, and I began my investigation. How I normally start is I'll work in a clockwise shape, and I'll take pictures from the outside, working my way inside. As I made my way through the front door, I noticed the main area of the body of fire. And as I started my investigation, I noticed that the living area looked to be out of sorts. It looked to be staged. Old furniture that did not belong there. Also noticed that the TV was really old. I noticed that there was a pour pattern of some type of an accelerant, which it looked to be an accelerant, along the floor that was leading from the kitchen area. I also noticed that in the back of the area, behind the TV, it looked to be a device had melted. So as I'm conducting my fire investigation, I'm taking pictures and I'm walking through the house, documenting as I go, and I begin to notice that all of the main valuables are now missing from the house. There's no family photos, there's no pictures. Things that are deemed valuable in the eyes of the family are now gone. Shortly after, the family arrives with their attorney, stating that I have voided their Fourth Amendment right, that I had entered the house on an illegal seizure and search. The reason I entered this residence and began my investigation was what I would be due regard. And that would mean that in the same situation, had the second fire not gone out, by the time I arrived on scene, the fire department would still be on scene conducting their overhaul procedures, their equipment cleaning procedures, and getting back in service. Had the other fire not gone out, initial crews would still be on scene. So I want to reference this fire to Farley versus State Farm, case number 1-10-00096. This was in Middle Tennessee in 2013, and this call came out almost the same as this one. They had came in. There was a moderate fire. Fire department had arrived on scene, extinguished the fire. Fire investigators arrived on scene and began to conduct an investigation. And what they also had found was that all of their valuables were missing. They had obtained an inventory list of items from the insurance company that when it was referenced to what was in the house was no longer there. The fire department left scene, went to go get a warrant, and came back. And when they did, on the next day, they noticed that things that were not there the first day, which were photographed, were now mysteriously there on the second day. This included burnt furniture, things out of sorts, and all of this was noted in the report. What eventually came from this case is that the homeowner was not charged with arson, but better yet, charged with an insurance fraud. The homeowner attempted to set their house on fire, destroy their house along with their possessions, in order to claim insurance. Because of that inventory list was provided by the insurance company and from their arson investigation, it was led to believe that this was a set fire. In my years of service as a fire investigator with the city, with the fire department, I have been able to deduct clues that are synonymous with this fire to lead me to believe that this fire was intentionally set. Again, a mocked, staged living area, faulty older equipment, including old televisions, and an obvious pour pattern that led from the living area up to the kitchen area. I had made notification to PD, asked that we obtain a warrant and a search for this property that this now would be under investigation for a possible arson fire. If you have any questions or concerns, I'm now open and willing to answer those. Thank you.